Morning 2 in the city. I woke up on a bench with my pack for a pillow and a pigeon judging me. On the island, if you have hands and a spear, you never go hungry. Here I had both, and no money, and I learned my first city law. Everything costs something, even sitting down. I did the dawn thing anyway. Found a strip of grass by a canal. Sat, breathed, let it all go quiet. Harder here. The city doesn't want you to be still. But under all the noise, if you wait long enough, there's the same quiet as home. Same sea, under the concrete. That surprised me. It shouldn't have. Quiet's quiet, wherever you find it. Then I tried to be useful. Offered to carry crates for a fish market. I can carry a lot. The man laughed at my clothes and waved me off. Tried 3 more places. Same laugh. Turns out a giant in furs with a spear on her back is not who city people hire. I don't blame them. I'd look twice at me too. Still stung a little. By dusk, I was following my nose again. It's the only sense the city hasn't confused yet. It led me to the smallest, saddest food stall I'd ever seen. 1 old man. 1 pot. No customers. A hand-painted sign, so faded you couldn't read it. And the best-smelling broth in the entire city coming out of that dented little pot. I stood there, and my stomach roared loud enough that the old man looked up. I told him the truth. No money, but the best nose in the northern sea, and I'd work for a bowl. He looked at me a long time. Old men and old hunters, we recognize each other. We've both waited out a lot of storms. He nodded at the stool. Wash first. Then we'll see if your nose is as good as your stomach's noise. His name is Goro. I'd have followed that broth anywhere. He gave me a bowl. I've eaten a lot of things. I've eaten fresh whale heart on the ice by firelight. Nothing prepared me for that bowl of city noodles. Layers. Time. 100 small decisions I couldn't name, but could taste. I ate it in silence, which for me is the highest praise there is. Goro watched me and, for the first time, smiled. I asked him why he had no customers if the food was this good. He shrugged. Old stall. Old man. Loud new city. A fancy chain restaurant that opened on the corner and pulls everyone away with bright lights and cheap prices. He wasn't bitter about it. Just tired. Good broth can't shout, he said. And this city only listens to shouting. I thought about that a long time. I still do. So I earned my keep. Washed, hauled, chopped. And here's the thing that surprised us both. I'm fast with a blade. Very fast. I've cleaned 1,000 fish on a heaving boat. A vegetable that holds still is easy. Goro watched my knife work and went quiet. Then he handed me his cleaver and said, "Show me how you'd cut for the broth." I didn't know it, but that was the moment my whole life turned. Cooking, it turns out, is just hunting slowed down. Reading what's in front of you. Patience. Respect for the thing you're using. knowing exactly how much force and no more. Everything my grandmother taught me on the ice worked at that cutting board. Goro fed me ingredients, and I understood them the way I understand weather. By midnight, we'd made a broth together that made him laugh out loud. Once. Like it hurt him. I slept in the back of the stall that night, on rice sacks, warm for the first time since I left home. And I lay there and felt something I hadn't expected to find in a concrete city. Not a bigger cage. Not a hunt. A kitchen. A pot. A knife. A fire. A person to feed. Something in my chest that had been pacing since the island finally sat down. I didn't have words for it. It felt like the start of an answer. We cooked together for a week. Words started to move. Quiet word. The good kind. The kind that travels stomach to stomach. A few customers came back. Then a few more. The little empty stall started, some nights, to have a line. Goro got years younger. I got happier than I'd been, on top of everything my island had. Turns out I didn't want to be the greatest hunter. I wanted to feed people. Who knew? But a stall doing well in that alley is a stall someone notices. And the someones who notice in that part of the city are not kind. Remember the 3 boys from my first night? The ones who tried to rob me, and I fed instead? Turns out they worked for people. And those people did not like hearing that a giant in furs had embarrassed their earners and then made their competition, a dead little stall, start to shine. They came at closing. 5 of them. Not the scared boys. Their bosses. Street enforcers. The kind that collect protection from every little shop in the district, and the kind that make examples when someone's earners come home empty-handed and embarrassed. Goro went still beside me. He'd paid these people for years, I'd learn. Everyone in that alley had. It was just the price of a pot and a corner. I set down my ladle. I did not want to. I set it down anyway. Their leader did the speech. Everyone in this district pays. The old man pays, now the big foreign girl. Making the old man's stall popular, she pays too. Or the stall burns, or worse. He was very calm about it. He'd said it 100 times. To 100 frightened people who had no choice. I smiled at him. The big one. The real one. I think that's what unsettled him. Nobody smiles at that speech. I asked him, politely, to leave. I meant it politely. I told him Goro was my friend now, and the stall was under my care, and nobody was paying anybody, and everyone could go home and sleep and we'd all pretend this didn't happen. I gave him the choice I always give. The way out. My grandmother taught me, always leave the animal a way out. It's kinder and it's smarter. He didn't take it. They never take it. He cracked his knuckles and nodded his men forward. I want to be honest about how I feel standing there. Not angry. Not afraid. Sad. I came 1,000 miles to find a bigger world, and I found a warm pot and a kind old man, and something like peace. And now 5 strangers were going to make me be the thing I'm best at, and like least. In front of my new friend, over a bowl of soup. I breathed. I let it go quiet. And the quiet, this time, the quiet almost felt like it was standing up with me. I'll finish it next time. The fight, I mean. It's a good one. And it's where I first pick up a kitchen tool and use it for something it wasn't made for. And I don't want to rush it. But I'll tell you how it started. The first man reached for Goro's pot to smash it. My grandmother's broth, Goro's whole life, in one dumb, angry hand. And something in me that had been very, very quiet for 2,000 miles finally, gently, woke all the way up. I caught his wrist before it reached the pot. Gently. I have a whole speech about how much I don't like fighting, and I meant every word. And I'm about to do a lot of it anyway. Because there's a difference between wanting to fight and being willing to. For a pot of good broth and a kind old man, I'm willing. All night. If that's what it takes. By the time it was done, all 5 were sitting in the alley, wondering what had happened to their evening. Nobody badly hurt, the pot unspilled, and Goro standing behind me clutching his cleaver he'd grabbed to defend me with, bless him, 90 pounds soaking wet, ready to fight 5 men for me. We're the same, Goro and I. We protect the pot. That's the whole religion. The lead enforcer, leaving, said the thing that starts everything. Bleeding pride, not blood. He pointed at me and said, "You have no idea what you just did. This district belongs to the syndicate, and they don't lose. They'll send someone you can't just hug into submission." Then they were gone. The syndicate. First time I heard the word, not the last. I filed it away, the way I file a storm on the horizon. Something big was coming. I could feel the pressure drop. Goro made us both a bowl after, hands shaking a little, and we ate in the wreckage of a night that could have ended his stall, and didn't. He didn't thank me. He did something better. He slid a spare apron across the counter, an old one, worn soft, his wife's, he said, gone 10 years now. "If you're going to protect my pot," he said, "you should look like you belong behind it." I've worn that apron every day since. I'll wear it in every fight in this whole story. Look for it. That night, I sat out back on the rice sacks and did the dawn thing early. Apron folded in my lap. Breathed. Let it go quiet. And in that quiet, I swear, something almost spoke. Not words. A feeling. Like a hand on my shoulder that had always been there and only now pressed down. I didn't understand it yet. SENSEI question. My first real one. When you're lost, do you look for the path or do you make one? I stopped looking, Hiantu. I think I'm making one. Breathe with me. I'll see you in the quiet.